Good morning.
Morning.
Thank goodness for the bug shirts.
Oh my gosh.
Because these mosquitoes indeed are elite. So we need these elite edition. They're trying to drink our coffee. Dude, like some things are sacred, mosquitoes. Time to beat it. Anyway, so morning of day 5. We've got coffee, obviously, and some of the world famous porridge. The morning is gorgeous and still, like really still, too still. I'd like a little bit of breeze to brush some of these skitters off. But yeah, so the sun isn't out yet.
But the birds are singing.
The birds are singing and welcoming the day. We get to see Rainbow Falls today, a bunch of other sites, run some rapids, knock around the woods a little bit, maybe see some wildlife, and just overall enjoy our vacation.
On the Steel River.
Okay, pals, it's just shortly after 9. The bugs are absolutely insane, so we are going to make this quick. We're just headed downriver. We know we've got some class 1s and 2s that we might either run or line, and we've got Rainbow Falls. I'm hoping that we get to Rainbow Falls by about lunchtime, so which is to say maybe around noon or shortly thereafter. And we will check in if there's anything cool along the way. So until then, the bugs
are carrying us off.
are carrying us away from here. Jesus, Murphy.
Holy.
See you soon. Just got a little co-pilot this morning. He's coming with us. I kind of assumed he was living out his last bits of his existence, just hanging out, but he's been moving around, and I don't know, maybe he's got the itch to go out and get rid of some of these bugs for us. Either way, he's running some rapids with us this morning. We're coming up to a class 2 that our trip reports say has no portage. So worst case scenario, line it. But Sharon and I are going to pull over to the right here and take a look, make a plan. Hopefully we can run it safely, of course. Alright, so our plan is to come kind of down the middle here. There's a boulder right there, miss that, then sort of work our way along this line, hit the tongue, and then once we're here, we have to work our way river right as hard as we can to miss that boulder right there at the bottom in the middle. As long as we come to the right of that, and then just ride the wave train out. Sounds easy enough. We're hitting the exact rock we didn't want to hit. Okay, so just remembering as we come through here, we want to come to the right after. So you're going to cross draw and then paddle to it. Okay, cross draw. It's okay, cross draw, now paddle hard. Perfect. Draw. Awesome job, babe. Sweet. We actually went a little farther than we needed to on that one, to the right, but that was good. So we're coming up to another one, another rapid of sorts. This one's got a portage sign around it. Says 140 meter port, or you could possibly run it, but it's bouldery. So we're going to take a look. Hopefully we can run it. This should be fun. It's not too hard. There's a little hole there. There's a nice tongue that brings us here. Oops. And then we kind of want to work ourselves back to the center. And then you can see there's a nice thick tongue there. Basically ride that wave train through to the bottom. On paper, it's easy. Okay. Okay, the left. Okay. Now we're going to work ourselves sort of back to the center. And then I'm just going to make sure we're pointed directly down the wave train. Okay, that's good, babe, you're good. Okay, power it out, power it out. Woo! So there was a bit of a shelf there with it. Which is good.
As we watch a bald eagle fly off from a tiny island, it leaves floating behind it a solitary white feather. We decide to investigate further.
This would prove to be a mistake. When I finally did find the feather and removed it from the island, it was as though I had set off a series of catastrophic events, Indiana Jones style. Those bugs, those mosquitoes are deadly. Watch your back, dude.
We're chased from the island by a million biting mosquitoes. As we flee for our lives, we notice 3 turkey vultures in a tree just downstream. Oh, that stinks.
There's a moose carcass in there, and that is right. Almost lost the canoe into the falls trying to get this dang eagle from it. Okay. You did see, Sherry did see a line on Rainbow Falls. So pals, yeah, so that's Rainbow Falls. The river decidedly takes a much less dramatic turn following this little stretch here. And it starts to meander a fair bit. And then I'm thinking before we hit those log jams that we are kind of aware of where they are-ish via Google Maps, I think we're going to camp. We'll see. We're just going to see how we feel. I don't have any marked campsites sort of before where I think we're going to end up today based on our progress thus far. But we'll try to scratch something out, hopefully get a sandbar that we can scratch out a nice site on. Oh, we just missed that. That was awesome. I had to pry like a mofo to miss that damn rock. It looks like diamond, like shapes cut out of it here a bit. Front edge here. No, right? How rich? So that was our first log jam, and it seemed like it was new for the season. There was no trail we could see around it. So either the people that have passed it previous to us kind of dragged over it, which just didn't seem plausible to us. So we spent about, what would you say that was, honey? About a half hour, 40 minutes maybe, basically just cutting a trail through pretty thick bush and carrying everything over, and we're back in the river, we're back in action. A lot of these log jams are kind of like here, like long term for the most part, and so there are kind of predetermined trails. I wouldn't say they're portages necessarily, but trails around them, and I was kind of hoping for that. Whereas on the Nushtagani, we had to cut every single trail around whatever that was, 10, 15 log jams, and that got a bit old pretty fast. So, anyway, there's my wish list for today. How are you feeling, Cher?
Good.
Still feeling good. Love it. Check it out later? No. Okay, friends, so we put in another 8-hour day and we were starting to get pretty tired, Cher and I. So we decided at some point we're just gonna, because there's no marked campsites on any of the maps that we have, and we're coming up to what is sure to be like pretty arduous logjam territory. So we were just keeping our eyes peeled. So we found a sandbar that is high enough to be dry up here, seemingly not too buggy. It's in the sun. We're going to get a sunset here and a sunrise over there, so we can dry out our stuff, which is good. Still no fires, but we could chill out here, man. What do you think? So I know we're not super stoked about having sand in the rest of our stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of camping on sand, but this is what we have, and there's sand on both sides of the river, so this is where we're at. We're tired. We're gonna eat some food, have some tea. Yeah, set up camp.
I'm shooting. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. And when the sun goes away, what? So we've got supper made. So it's kind of a hodgepodge, but it is actually a wonderful mixture of butter chicken and veggie curry along with risotto.
Risotto.
That's Sherry's Italian accent. So it's actually quite good, and it's filling. Like, we have lots of food. So far so good, eh, Sher? This is actually a really nice campsite. I think we lucked out.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got our...
We had a great day, great campsite.
Nice. Got our canoe with our underoos and socks here. You got our tent with the mountain overlooking. Some hodgepodge stuff here, but just an absolutely beautiful sight. We are back in action, friends. Back on the river. Do a time check. It's only 8:15, baby. That's like record time for us to get out of here. Surprising no one. Unsurprisingly, we did not stick around that campsite. That was the most nightmarish morning routine. So beggars can't be choosers with campsites, and we were indeed beggars last night. So it was nice and idyllic when the sun was shining and there was a bit of a breeze, but overnight we got light rain, but enough that the mosquitoes were an absolute nightmare. I think we both drank 10 of them each with our coffee this morning. And yeah, we're just happy to be on our way, back on the river. So I don't believe we're on the river for very long. Historically, at least according to Google Earth, I could actually physically see logjams aplenty starting just in probably a kilometer or maybe less. So we've quickly arrived at the first sort of site of what we thought to be where the first logjam would be, but you know what? It's not even a logjam, babe. We could have paddled through this. The logjam used to be here, but it's actually clean right through there. Well, let's just take it through, I guess. But if it's just taking us around this imaginary logjam, then we might just want to ride the canoe down to wherever our bags go. We shall see. Fun begins, friends. All right. So it turned out that particular portage, which thank you again to the Big Tigong Ushnabeg, just goes around this first significant logjam that is no longer a logjam, which is, I guess, kind of cool for the time being, but I believe that, to me, it just concerns me because those logs didn't just disintegrate or get airlifted out. They just went downstream. So they're somewhere. But again, these logjams are seasonal and they move, right? They're living, breathing entities. So this one is definitely still real. This is the very next one. This is around the corner from that last one. It looks like up to the right there, Cher. Do you think? Okay. Yeah, that's real. Okay. So I don't know how the hell we get up this bank.
Ooh. Okay, guys, that was a huge trail across a huge couple of log jams, but I made it. And I found some evidence, once again, that we are following another adventurer, but they've lost their sunglasses. So maybe we'll pick them up and take them with us down this river. Oof. I could not do this trip without this guy. Man, oh man.
Oh, did you see that? Oh. My right foot went right through whatever it was I was trying to stand on, but we saved her. Thank Christ. Don't worry, honey. At least we've got the rain.
Yeah. Woo.
At least it's raining.
Woohoo!
Make everything just that little bit easier.
Okay, gotta go.
Gotta go. Sometimes the trail just disappeared. The trail just went off the edge into the river. So we had to try to deke into the bush there. So yeah, we did a little bit of clearing, but overall it was not a bad experience. We're about 20, what did I say, baby? 25 river kilometers from Santoy Lake. It's a buggy, rainy morning, but we're still enjoying ourselves and we love the challenge as much as right in the moment we might have a grimace. We're going to look back on this and enjoy the heck out of it. On video. We still hate it right now. But when we look back on video and we seem like two characters in a movie, that's when we'll like it. Hopefully you like it like that as well. Are we having fun yet? Okay, so that's awesome that there's a portage. Let's double check that it's all the way through. We can just paddle back to that portage. What do you think?
It's like 10 feet tall.
Okay.
It's like 10 feet tall.
Oui. This is like, okay, vertical, like 90 degrees. I hated that. just saw, I don't know how good of footage we got, but we just saw a cow moose and 2 calves just came down the banks just as we were coming around a corner, and they just kind of froze, and they were like, oh dear. So then Mom just scampered up the bank like nothing. That's got to be an 8-foot bank. So the 2 calves had a tough time. One of them finally made it up. The other one was kind of stuck at the bottom, kind of like crying a little bit. Mom was...
Okay, babe, we gotta get out of here.
So we just kind of left. We didn't stick around and try to stress them out any more than we had to. So we are a couple of turns away from what I believe to be a really big logjam, and hopefully our last one. And I don't think I've ever prayed for a logjam as much as I am right now. I just can't wait for this logjam to get out of the canoe, which I've bailed 3 times now because of the rain. Do a little portage around a big old logjam to warm up the bones a little bit and get down. At that point, we're a couple of corners away from Santoy. And then it's the choice of whether we camp at the campsite at the mouth of the river on Santoy, or do we just make a break for it and paddle the 11K on Santoy home. And I think for us, it's just a matter of what that wind situation looks like.
Hi.
Wow, okay. So we found the takeout. The GoPro somehow, I don't know, act of God, the mount kind of broke. But we've jerry-rigged it back. This was how we had to come up. It was an absolute nightmare. It's just clay, just sucks your boot in. Anyway, we're up here. We have this portage to do. And yeah, and then we're going to reassess once we're back on the river. But it's starting to pour again. Perfect. Okay, how are you feeling, Cher?
You win some, you lose some.
We haven't lost yet. We're winning so far.
The weather is not cooperating.
Not the
today.
weather, yeah. Okay, let's do this part. We finally enter the mouth of the river at Santoy Lake, and the weather seems to have calmed enough for us to continue on. This was a trick. So that went from bad to way worse in a relative hurry. Sherry and I are actually on the portage that started it all. We're at the sort of the takeout for the Diablo portage because that was kind of the nearest flat spot that we could think of. And just the wind just was howling. And you'll see I got some GoPro footage of it, but the wind was howling. The waves, like there were 3-foot waves. Sherry was riding, and so we were struggling to get anywhere and just pushing as hard as we could. And the rain was just coming down sideways right at our faces. So we just needed to pull over, changed clothes. We made some coffee, cafe mocha specifically, and we're just regrouping, got our energy up. We had some snacks. We're going to have this second cafe mocha, and then we're going to make that final push back to the car. How was that, Sherry?
Oh, that was intense. That was super intense. Yeah.
Super intense.
I'm glad that we stopped. I was like, okay, keep paddling, but I'm glad that we stopped, and I'm so glad for the cafe mocha. It is the champ of this trip, by far.
Cafe mocha for the win.
Yeah, and the rain seems to be letting
Letting up.
And the wind is dying down, so I think we made the right choice to pull off and just kind of get dry and have coconut.
Get dry and have cafe mocha. If you see us, if you see this video, then we made it. If you see this video on this phone 5-10 years from now and you found this phone in the water, we didn't make it. Give this to our families. All right. So hopefully for the last time we shut off. This is so far much nicer than what we've been dealing with. It can take a few days or even weeks for it to sink in just how amazing a trip was.
With this trip, we hadn't even gotten off of the water by the time the weather finally relented and allowed us a few peaceful moments to reflect on what we'd just done.
The stillness of this once tempestuous lake was analogous to the stillness in us at the end of our journey. We fell in love with this place.
And we will be back.